Welcome back to another review with me, Kevin, from Kevin Grant on Whisky. This week, it's a little bit different. I'm not going to be reviewing, I'm going to be going through 5 whiskies, 5 different things. It's something that started on Reddit. It's just an online thing, and it's went through the kind of whisky channels online. I've been watching a few, they've been asking each other to do it, putting themselves forward. I'm not that big yet to be involved in it, so I thought I would give it a go on my own. So what it's going to be is, I'm going to say my daily drinker, a mixer, a Friday night pour, impress my guests, and special occasions. So I've got to choose from my own selection what I've got and what I would bring out. And it was actually quite tough. I was thinking about it all week, what I would use. Some are easier than others, and there's ones that are just, how do you do it? I think every week could probably change. So I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not. I'll go through them, give a little bit of what I think about them, why I've chose them, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. So let's get into this one. Let's find out what 5 I've chosen. First up is the daily drinker. So this is what I would happily drink daily. You know, I don't think I would really get bored of it. It's something that I'm really enjoying just now, and I kind of, what my palate's enjoying, but again, that could change. It's getting into winter. I think that might steep away and I might get something a little bit stronger because it's getting colder here in Scotland. So first up is my daily drinker, so what I would drink each day, and that is my Glenallachie 15. So Billy Walker, making phenomenal whiskey throughout his career. Glenallachie falls into that category for me. That is my daily drinker. I think I picked this up as well for £60 for 15-year-old, which is absolutely great. Very happy with it. As you can see, I'm enjoying it as well. There's not as much left as there should be. But once this is finished, I definitely will get this back on the shelf again. But my daily drinker, if I'm ever stuck for ideas, I don't know what I want, this is usually my go-to. Something nice and sherried, 46% ABV, natural colour, unchill filtered, ticks all the boxes, good price point. My daily drinker. Thumbs up. Right, moving on. Put him over here. As you can see, I'm going to get the easy ones out the way first, because after that I hurt my head a wee bit thinking about it. So number 2 is my mixer. So my mixer is the Deanston Kentucky Cask Matured. So Deanston, known for the single malt scheme, nothing really more. I think black bottle was a little bit that they'd done at the time, but the single malt stuff was really good. I really enjoy it. This came out Morrison's exclusive, I think it's Morrison's. £30 or £29, I think it was. Drinking it on its own is great. You know, it's very soft. It's something I use as a starter. You know, if I was having a whiskey night, this is usually a starter. But I found it really good mixing it in things, you know, old fashions. What else was I having with it? I can't remember. I've tried a few things. It's quite versatile in that sense. It's an easy sipper. It's not super exciting, but when you're adding it to a cocktail, it seemed to bring the cocktail out more than the whiskey. So this is my mixer. I would happily put a wee splash of Coke in this. It's good for people that aren't too sure about whiskey. Some of my friends don't like it. Try with a little bit of Coke in it, a little bit of ice. Let me make you an old fashioned. Let me what else do I make? I can't remember. Old fashions are kind of go to for me on a whiskey cocktail. £30, I'd say it's probably slightly steep for it. I think if I had £30 I could find something a little bit better. But this, for currently being on my shelf, this would be my mixer. It is good, it's soft filtration. You do get the typical Deanston notes from it, which is good, so it's not taking that away from it. It's just good for mixing. 40% ABV, brings it down, and that's why I would choose that single malt for it. Right, so this is where it starts to get a little bit more. I'm going to go for impress my guests. So a whiskey that I would bring out to impress my guests, you know, you bring it out and it's like, oh wow, that's amazing, you've got this. It was more difficult. I've got a couple of 25-year-olds in there, some rarer things, but the thing for me that I think would impress my guests would be Octomore. I don't think there's a lot of people that have tried Octomore as much because it can be pricey for what it is. If you strip Octomore back, it's very young whiskey, high alcohol. You can buy things for way less than £100 for that, but for the ppm, for the peat level of it, the phenols per million, this one here that I've got is the 10.1, it's 107 ppm, 59.8% ABV, unchilled filter, natural colour, 5 years old. People see that high ABV, that high peat content, and think it's just going to be eating burnt wood, but it's not. It's very soft. It's got flavour to it that you don't expect. The smoke comes at the end, and when they peat their whiskey for Octomore, it's kept there for a week. They peat it for 1 full week, so this is why they're getting the high phenol content. And I think it's great. I think it's quite exciting. It's a lot. I love pouring these for people when they try it, and it's just waiting for the reaction because they don't know how to react. I think it's in a league of its own in that sense. So it's hard to put it against something else. Like, it's similar to this, it's similar to that. Octomore is similar to Octomore for me. You can't put it up against other things. So this would be my impress my guests. Heavily peated, still really enjoy it, really oily, long mouthfeel. You take a sip and it lasts forever and ever and just sits on the palate. So good job. I think this was about £130 or so. I was gifted one as well. I've actually got an unopened one sitting there. This is tiny wee bit left. I'll maybe have that later. So we've got 2 left. So I'm going to go for my Friday night pour. This was a difficult one. So the way to describe it is, you've had a long week. What are you going for? You've had a long week. You come in, it's rough. You want to sit down. You want something that's just my Friday night dram. Something I'm just going to reach for and go. And that was really difficult, because I think my mood can determine if I've had a really bad week, I go for this. If I've had a good week, so I'm going to put it in kind of around the middle. Something I would have if I had a good week and a bad week, I would go for this. And it's quite different. So this is the Whisky Broker Kalila 9-year-old, 58.7% ABV, red wine barrique. So heavily peated, finished in a red wine barrique for about half a year. I think it was 6 months. And it's amazing stuff. I actually bought 2 of these. I bought one and thought, better get 2, see how they are, and I really enjoyed it. So I've got this much left of that, but I love it. How much have a smell? Oh, it's wonderful stuff. So that's my Friday night pour. It's something different. It's an independent bottling, so it's not something that I can always go to and I'm always going to get again, because there's only 263 bottles of this and I've got 2 of them. And I've seen a lot out there, people have opened them and drank them as well, so I know it's going to be very difficult to get my hands on. But this would be my Friday night pour if I could always have it on a Friday. So I just maybe have smaller nips throughout my Fridays, and I should do alright. But Whisky Broker, absolutely phenomenal. Independent bottling, everything that they've had and I've tried has always taken my attention. I've not tried anything which has been bad yet. They're really massive influence on their sherried whiskies and their red wine stuff. So this is my Friday night dram. Now we get to the hard one. Special occasions. What do you pull out for your special occasions? That's really stumped me and stopped me in my tracks to think, what would a special occasion? Heard really good news. What am I going to bring out and celebrate with? And I was torn between 2, so I'm going to put 2 of them in there. I know it's only 5, but I couldn't really pick between them. So the first one up is the Long Row, so Campbelltown, from Springbank Distillery. It's the Long Row Red Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon matured, 13-year-old, and this was last year's release, 51.6% ABV, and this is just absolutely cracking liquid. I did start tearing into this quite a bit because I really enjoyed it. I thought I better pace myself with it because I'm not going to have much left and it's like hen's teeth to get. The other thing that came in there, I think if you know where I am with this, I'm pretty sure you'll know what's going to be next coming up. Is another Campbelltown. So it's Kilkerran, 8-year-old, heavily sherried, 57.1% ABV. And I picked this up, I sort of forgot to say my price, my other one. Picked this one up for £45, and I think I picked this up, the Long Row, for about £80 or so. Just, you can't do much more. I absolutely love them. So, yeah, and these are my special occasions whiskies. These are what I'll bring out for special occasions. And I don't know what I would choose between them. What would you choose? I've both got similar levels left of them as well. Once they're gone, so I'm taking my time. But that was my picks, that's my 5 picks. So if there's something that you want to do on your own, if you want to put in the comments below, let me know what your daily drinker would be, your mixer, Friday night pour, impress your guests, and your special occasions. I've hoped you've enjoyed this wee video, a little insight to what I like and what I would do. Next week I will try and get a review done. I think I've got something else there I want to get opened and do, or I'll find something depending how I'm feeling, depending how the week goes. But hope you have a really good weekend. It's very wet and rainy here in Scotland if you're all overseas and things. Have a good one, have a nice wee dram, sit outside. All this rain, what is it they say, today's rain is tomorrow's whiskey, so the more rain the better sometimes. But I've been Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whisky. Join me next week and let's talk whisky.